Phil used the word posse in his book the last season, 2004, in reference to LeBron and his guys. He used it in a negative way. They fetch cars, they fetch girls. Right. So that, that shows that Phil kind of knew what he was doing, and it was dismissive and disrespectful to LeBron and those guys. I would have rather, if Phil put him up to this, then it's cowardly. You should have just come out yourself and tweeted it if you put him up to it. Ideally, what Phil would have done is just admit, look, it was a poor choice of words.
Yes.
I didn't mean anything negative in any way, shape, or form. Nothing but respect for Maverick Carter, Rich Paul, and how they've capitalized on the opportunities LeBron James gave them. That's it. It would have been done. Now this thing goes on and on and on, and all types of racial connotations are brought in.
See, the thing for Phil is that he feels that because he has 11 championship rings, he's above reproach. Yeah. He feels that he can say anything, and you're supposed to take it at face value. But we're not talking about Phil Jackson, the coach. We're talking about Phil Jackson, the president of operations that's building a team. So in 2004, whatever definition you want to use, you're going to go the true definition about the sheriffs deputizing people and they're going to get the bad guy. If you want to use, but he started it in a negative, in a derogatory way, in a negative term. He said posse, meaning fetch cars, fetch women. That's what he said. That's what a posse meant to him. So how else was LeBron James supposed to take it? When you say that, when you preface it by saying posse, guys that fetch cars, fetch girls. So now you've already defined what that word means to you. So how was LeBron supposed to take it? Here's the guy that LeBron has given $41 million through his foundation, going to send 1,100 kids to school. He just donated another $2.5 million to the Smithsonian for the Muhammad Ali exhibit. Rich Paul, who LeBron extended a hand. Rich Paul reached up, pulled himself up together with LeBron. Maverick Carter. All these guys have become successful. But Phil, and I really want to stop using age as an excuse where, Phil is old school and that's the way it's... No. It's time out for that. Yeah. Phil knows right from wrong.
He's positioned himself and presented himself as a progressive.
Exactly.
That he believes certain things.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear where, Phil is old school and born in 45 and he's 71. No. He knew, he coined it in 2004 in his book as someone that's less than. They're hanger-oners. They offer the athlete nothing. That's the way he painted it. And in 2016, he still feels the exact same way. So don't tell me he's changed his way of thinking because he hasn't.
Yep.
And he meant it in a derogatory way because that's why he said it. He could have said, I take Stan Van Gundy. See, this is why Stan Van Gundy, me and Stan Van Gundy, we down like that. Because, when he's wrong, he'll step to the plate.
You admit it.
He said, I use that word. He said, but I've never used it when describing a white player. He also said, you know what? I know it's wrong, and I'm going to do better. That's all Phil had to say. LeBron, I apologize. Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, I apologize. Just say I apologize and move on. Don't try to and put this guy up to these shenanigans. The posse organization.
So you think he had him do it as well?
Absolutely. So hold on. Posse, in which Phil described, and the posse organization, which one of those in that organization fetching cars? Which one of those in that organization fetching girls? See, it makes no sense. Phil is another, he's a Chip Kelly guy. He walks into the room, he's automatically the smartest guy in the room. You can't fool him.
He's way beyond Chip Kelly in that role. I've been in the same room with both of them.
Yeah, but
Mount Phil,
yeah,
the Zen master.
And that's the thing, Skip. Because he feels he's so much, his knowledge is so much more vast than everybody in the room. He can fool people, and because I got 11 rings, who am I to question Phil Jackson? But I'm not questioning Phil Jackson, the coach. I'm questioning Phil Jackson, the man, and how he handled that situation.
I want to be clear about this. Yesterday, I told you how offended I was that Phil Jackson would dare to dismiss or marginalize or belittle LeBron's inner circle. It's obviously not it's an inner circle.
Right.
And I know Maverick, and I've been around Rich Paul, and Chris knows them very well. These are dynamos in their fields, especially Maverick. He's become a force in Hollywood and on Madison Avenue. So you can't go there, and whether you're 71 or out of touch or whatever, you just can't go there.
Exactly.
You need to, if not apologize, just explain your thinking a little better. He should have called the New York media together and explained himself a little better.
Right.
I shouldn't have said this, but I meant that. Whatever. Don't do this. Don't hide behind Clarence Gaines Jr. here. But I want to get straight as a white guy, because we had Rob Parker on yesterday, and he had no problem with the term posse as a racist term, but I want to be clear about this. I told you, I started covering the NBA late 70s and through the 80s. It somehow posse became the new hip, cool term for entourage. And I didn't hear one black player say he had a problem with that word, or I'd been the first to say, wow, okay, well then I have a problem with that word if you do. So is it now officially a racist term?
I don't know if it's necessarily racist, but it's derogatory.
Okay.
Because you're framing it. Phil framed the narrative of what the posse meant to him.
I got it. He defined it in his book.
Yep.
And then he used it again to diminish what
they were able to accomplish.
Okay.
To your point, I agree with you. I wouldn't call it a racist term. It's certainly demeaning, derogatory now. But in the NBA now, don't use it.
Don't use it now.
If you're a coach or a white coach, gentleman,
I
do
asked,
not use it.
how did the Posse Foundation choose that term as their name? Because it's done a lot of great, but 7,000 public high school kids have gotten full scholarships through this foundation, but they chose, and it's black and white kids.
They probably viewed it as a hip way. I mean, I brought up the other day on the show, remember Sir Mix-a-Lot song, My Posse's on Broadway. And I mean, so yeah, it's been used in ways that aren't derogatory. And to some people, it's not viewed as that. But as you said, Phil has defined, or did in 2004, what he meant by it. And now the fact that he won't just come out, oh, I didn't mean anything by it, it was a poor choice of words. He won't come out and say that. That leads you to believe he's like battling. Like he's defending his position, in my view, with that
He's
tweet.
doubled down.
I'm going to say it again. As a white guy, thanks in part to Phil Jackson, I think of this term now as a racist term, posse. I do, just because of what happened. I think that's what I'm hearing back. Is that fair?
It's just,
I think in the NBA context,
that's what I'm saying.
Better not use it. Yeah.
Okay.
Or to be honest, in any sport context.
Well, if you're trying to explain the group of guys that are together with black athletes, because he could have easily said, he said his posse, he wanted to hang back with his posse. Well, Kevin Durant, when he used to come to the arena, his mom and his brother would always come with him. Are they a posse?
That his posse?
So you have to be, if he hadn't framed it, that posse meant to him, hanger honors, fetch cars, fetch girls, maybe nobody would have given it a passing thought. But he's like, hold on. That's the meaning in 2016, because these guys have accomplished so much more, and you still view them in the same light as 21-year-olds or 19-year-olds as you do as 31 and 35-year-olds. They have evolved. You have not. So I was upset because I thought it was derogatory. I thought it was demeaning. I thought it marginalized what LeBron and his corporation, which those guys are, have accomplished.